Hey guys, I'm driving to meet a client right now, and we're gonna spend about 2 hours working on a website. The website's about, I think, 2 weeks behind schedule. What happened is I'm a solo entrepreneur, so that means I do a lot of things myself. And when something falls apart, it's like a domino effect. It affects like so many other things. And the problem is that I can either limit what I do, but then I also limit my opportunities, and if I'm successful, a lot of opportunities present itself. But if something falls apart or whatever, my life gets really stressful. And I want to tell a story about the most stressful time I ever had in my life. And to this day, I still feel, when I think about it, I feel really like, it brings a lot of anxiety. So what happened was, I was part of this church group. It was very cult-like, and it was a very closely knit group of people. And what happened was, this couple was getting married, and they didn't have a lot of money, so they knew I worked in the fashion industry. And what happened was, I went back to school, and I was in art school, and I needed some money, so I said, yeah, I can design a bridesmaid dress for them. And so there was 7 bridesmaid dress, and I haven't, I know how to sew and stuff, but because you don't do it all the time, you lack the speed and the efficiency. And so what happened was, I did these 7 bridesmaid dress for them. On top of that, I was going to church, and I was, busy with art school and crap like that. And what happened was, I was way behind schedule, to the point where I was sewing on the day of the wedding. It was that bad. And basically, I didn't finish the hemline of the wedding dress, the bridesmaid dress. And I was basically, I didn't hold the wedding up, but it was cutting it close. And it was so stressful, and no one could have helped me. And I was encountering a lot of problems, because if you don't do something often, issues come up. And what happened is, you're trying to figure it out, right? And so I was sewing these bridesmaid dress, and all these girls were like in different shapes and size. And what happened was, I was trying to fit them and stuff. And I was sewing satin, gold satin bridesmaid dress. And what happened with the problem with satin fabric is that if you make a mistake, it's very hard to repair, because you will see the stitching on the satin fabric. And so I was dealing with lots of issue, and my sewing machine was broke, this and that, and very, very stressful time in my life. And so I was thinking about, how you manage stress. And one of the entrepreneurs I follow on Facebook, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's the founder of ONE FC, which is one of the largest MMA promotion in Asia. I think it's the largest. And he's also the founder of Evolve MMA, which is basically MMA gym. I think there's 3 locations in Singapore. And he also founded Evolve University, which is online MMA tutorial instructional video website. And he wrote something very interesting, which I kind of know. Jordan Peterson mentioned about this. And basically, you will get rejected like 98% of the time. So if you're an average looking guy, and you try to meet up with a girl or get her on a date, you would literally get rejected 98% of the time. That will break your heart, that will break your soul. And he wrote, I can't even pronounce this guy's name, the entrepreneur. He said that 98% of business will fail. 90% if you want to make $1 million, right? That is freaking heartbreaking. Like 98%. Not just fail, but you will freaking fall flat on your face. And I was thinking to myself, like, why the fuck do I still do what I do? Which is like going to meet a client, and I feel bad about not finishing the website on time, but I can't do anything about it. I'm encountering problems. you know, and there's nothing I can do about it. You know, I'm like really under the gun here. And I think to myself, you know what? Some people can't do this because they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of falling flat on their face. And falling flat on your face is really difficult. You know, you look bad. Things look horrible, and you know, and sometimes you don't look good. You know, like sometimes I barely have enough money just to pay for gas to do what I need to do, or sometimes things are just like on me, and people laugh at me, like people close to my life don't really support me. They're like cheerleaders. They tell me they support me, but they don't. You know. So how do you know if someone supports you or not, right? People will say it like word-wise, that you can do it or whatever. That's easy to say. That's easy to do. Like, oh, you can do it. But people really, really support. Will extend a hand through financial support, or through time, or through encouragement. Like, let's just say you're busting your ass and you're not eating properly, and they live maybe 20 minutes from you, and they will cook like an extra meal for you. Let's just say they're cooking, right? And they'll say, you know what? I'm gonna cook the extra dish. Or I'm just gonna cook the extra serving, and on my way to work or whatever, I'll drop it off. You know what I mean? And these things are so meaningful. I started my gym, and I'm flat broke, and two of my former students helped me out. One guy lent me $500, and another guy paid 3 months in advance. You know, and it took a lot of burden off me because I was under the gun. I just didn't even have the money to pay my regular bills, and that $800 came in so handy to help me like just get some anxiety off my chest and just propel myself. You know. So, yeah, so going back to the story of the wedding maids, it was so fucking stressful. I mean, I was literally working like 18 hours a day, just hunching over the sewing machine, sewing. And I had to sew 7 bridesmaid dresses in like freaking, 3 weeks, and it was just so tough. And to this day, I'll never do it again. If I was to do something, I'll do it without a timeline. And so this website, I probably won't do any more website. I just have too many things on my plate. And for me, I would say I'm a perfectionist, but I have a vision of how I want to build it, and then I execute it. But the problem is that I don't just build crap. And when I build it, there's all these steps you have to go through, and unless you do it all the time, you're not efficient with those steps. And on top of that, you're also juggling other things to try to keep the bills paid. So going forward, I'm just going to build stuff for myself. I'm working on a web app that I'm trying to build. And if this web app is successful, who knows? It might be a very good revenue stream for me. So anyways, thanks for listening. And if you like some of the stories I'm telling, please give it a thumbs up. Please like it. And please comment.